Hi, everyone, and welcome back. In this next section, we are going to look at some of the mass communication theories. So let's jump into it. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so the first one I want us to look at is that of cultivation theory by George Gerstner. What Gerstner started noticing back in the 1970s is that people would start watching media and then it would start to have an impact on their day-to-day reality. And what he was looking at is different crime shows and news shows that people were watching and how those had an impact on people's lives. And what he noticed is that created a mean world syndrome. By that, people would be watching a lot of crime shows and the news, and they would start to view the world as a more dangerous place based upon the things that they were watching. So let's say that you're watching a bunch of CSI or Law and Order or the true crime shows. You might perceive the world around you to be full of a lot of crime and a very dangerous place, even though crime rates in the United States across the board have been going down for quite some time, especially if you compare, current years to like the 1990s. People who are watching the news and watching these crime shows they might be perceiving that crime is going up around them. So the second theory that I want us to look at is that of social cognitive theory by Albert Bandura. What Bandura started to note is that people would start to imitate and model different individuals that they would see in the media. So let's say that you're watching your favorite show and you like the clothes that your favorite character is wearing. You might go out and buy those clothes. But then you can also start to imitate those behaviors of people that you are watching in television shows. A good example might be like Jersey Shore. So you watch the Jersey Shore, you might even start to pick up on some of the lingo that the characters, that the actor, well, that the people use, like GTL, Gym Tan Laundry. You might notice that they're going out and they're partying all the time. And that's what, and you might be thinking like that's what I need to be doing, or that's what I should be doing, going out and partying. And you start to imitate and identify with those individuals that you're watching in television shows. So think about that. What shows are you watching, and how are you starting to model or imitate some of the behaviors that the people in those TV shows are doing? The next theory to look at is critical cultural theory. What it argues is that our social world is the product of the iteration between structure and agency. It's saying that the media has a lot of different power to shape the world that we live in, but it also helps us understand different levels of oppression and power. So I want you to think of television shows that you're watching. How are those characters being portrayed? What is the race of those characters? Who is present? Who is not present? Let's say you're watching a show on ABC like The Bachelor. Who are the contestants that are making it farther? What is the race of those contestants? Oftentimes, The Bachelor has been problematic and fits within critical culture theory because they'll put people of all different backgrounds on, but maybe within like the first two episodes, they'll kick off the individuals of a type of diversity, and then you might end up with like an all-white cast or something like that. Thinking about that, who is being represented in the media? How are they being represented? And then why are they being represented? It can help us understand the world around us, and we should be critical of who's being represented in it. The next one is social responsibility theory. There are seven basic principles that are talked about in the book, and what social responsibility theory articulates is that journalists should have the freedom to be writing about a lot of different things in the media. However, they should do it with some core responsibility. We shouldn't be utilizing the media to do sensationalized headlines. Of course, you're going to see a lot of that, but is that right? Is that ethical? I would say, sometimes no. Some of their principles say that media have obligations to society that they must fulfill. This should meet them by setting high or professional standards of informativeness, truth, accuracy, objectivity, and balance. Because they accept this duty, media should be self regulating within the framework of law and established institutions. Media should avoid whatever might lead to crime or violence or civil disorder or give offense to minority groups. The media should reflect the diversity of their society, giving access to various points of view and the rights to reply. And people have the right to expect high standards of performance. If not met, official intervention can be justified to secure the public good. Media professionals should be accountable to society as well as to the financial bottom line. So, what is the news that you're consuming? And are they being responsible to all people, all constituents that they are serving? So, be thinking, what news sources are you consuming? And are they a responsible news source? Media literacy is very important. Have you ever taken a class solely based on media literacy? Maybe not. But it's important to be questioning the media that we consume on a day to day basis. A simple definition for media literacy is the ability to read, interpret, critically assess, and productively use media texts. I think some of us engage in a little bit of media literacy on a day to day basis because we might discuss our favorite television shows or what we watched on TikTok with friends or family members. However, we should be doing this on a day to day basis, anyhow, and critically assessing more than just our favorite television shows. We should be assessing almost every single thing that we're watching and understanding how it can persuade us in different ways. Children are also spending a lot of time on screens. Research has shown that it's starting to have a huge impact on kids. They're spending 10 times more time on screens than ever before. It's starting to have a big impact on kids' body images of themselves. And many of us are spending more time on our screens. Advertising to children is really important. Children watch roughly 25,000 commercials a year, and that's a ton. And we've started to see it turn into a $17 billion industry, and they call it womb to tomb marketing. What's interesting about the United States versus other countries is that the United States doesn't limit whatsoever on advertising to kids. We have an entire industry around it. So I want you to take a look at the kid off to the side with his McDonald's Happy Meal. I know that we might watch a McDonald's commercial geared towards kids, and what they always end up doing is trying to advertise the apple slices, the milk option, or in this case, the juice that the kid is drinking. However, when you think of McDonald's, what comes to mind? It's probably a hamburger and French fries, and what they do is they really hook the kid on the toy. The kid is excited about the toy. They go to the parents and they're like, "Hey, can we go to McDonald's? I really want this toy." And typically there's an entire set of the toys that you want to collect that they're going to McDonald's multiple times. We see this industry, it's profiteering off of getting in kids' minds, getting them to think about these things. And we can start to see the impacts, at least with the fast food industry, of causing childhood obesity. One of the things that the book recommends is parental mediation theory. It identifies the importance of parents taking an active role in managing and regulating their children's interactions with media. How often have you talked with children about their experiences and what they're watching online? Kids don't understand the persuasive appeals that are being thrown at them, especially in terms of advertising. If we take the time to talk with children, they're able to understand and break down